The announcement of a new Raw general manager saw Vince McMahon making his TV return on June 15 in a 3-hour special promoted as a 3-brand free-for-all. With the first time ever all 3 top titles in the company would be defended on television on the same night, loading up the broadcast in addition to the title matches which featured Randy Orton regaining the WWE title after a week following Batista vacating it due to another long-term injury, with Vince's segment coming right after the title change, dropping a major bomb to see Donald Trump returning to WWE television to announce himself not only as the new GM but as the new owner of Raw, giving the company a massive round of media publicity over the next several days, including some major media outlets reporting it as a shoot. While on the show Raw, which opened the second hour with the end of the Orton Hunter Cena Big Show 4-way title match along with the Vince Trump announcement on the new ownership, picking up huge from that point on to see the third hour headlined by a #1 contender battle royal averaging close to 6.1 million viewers in the most watched hour of Raw since the day after WrestleMania 25, ending up with Trump returning past 11 p.m. to make a blockbuster announcement to set up the first ever commercial-free Raw broadcast for next Monday, booking the originally planned Orton vs. Triple H pay-per-view match to instead headline the massive TV show on June 22 along with hyping a major Trump vs. McMahon face-to-face confrontation for the first time since their 2007 feud, with huge viewership targeted on the night.
Raw will be presented live, commercial-free.
Raw, live and commercial-free, Monday at 9 only on USA.
The first ever commercial-free broadcast in Raw's over 16-year history, with a major pay-per-view caliber hype heading into Monday night, was coming with unknown expectations on how high it can get, as with the massive turnover of viewers during commercial breaks on wrestling television known for the better part of 20 years and especially since the Monday Night Wars era. Predictions for the show were unclear on how much of an impact the first-time ever concept would have, combined with the boosted interest for the Trump-McMahon ownership angle, other than anticipating one of the biggest audiences to watch a WWE show in years, with the Donald Trump era of Raw starting with Trump coming out to introduce the show saying that he's going to deliver something Vince would have never done, leading to perhaps the biggest ovation of the night coming already 8 minutes in, with Trump after already announcing it in a press conference with Vince at the Green Bay airport earlier in the day, officially telling the crowd that in addition to the commercial-free show they're also getting a full refund for their tickets, to a massive reaction, giving away as a shoot the full gate money for the Raw event worth over $235,000 in another publicity stunt for the special occasion on the night, with Raw's first quarter before the commercial-free aspect could have made any difference already showing the strong curiosity boost on the night to open big with nearly 6 million viewers in one of the biggest opening audiences in years, kicking off the show following the Trump introduction with Cena coming out for a promo putting over Trump's ticket refund announcement before hyping this Sunday Cena vs. Miz pay-per-view match, turning into a Cena-Miz confrontation to set up the first match between them, with Cena set to face Big Show later tonight in the second top match of the night. With tonight's unique show coming just 7 days following the loaded 3-hour special of last Monday, USA Network, in the middle of a heated battle to maintain its place as the top primetime cable network spot against TNT, was pulling out all the stops to win the April to June 2009 quarter, with TNT seeing major increases on the back of strong boosts over the previous year for the NBA playoffs. And after losing the month of May despite having the highest average viewership in primetime in the network's history, USA was going all out to regain the top spot in June, with a WWE representative confirming that last week's 3-hour special was a USA suggestion to boost the overall numbers with an extra hour of Raw, before taking the 1-week financial hit for the commercial-free concept to one-up it this Monday, with USA Network also making headlines during the week on the back of the Trump Raw ownership storyline, with the network sending out a press release on Tuesday to hype the first Raw under Trump and get the buzz going in the media. leading to some major media outlets reporting it as a shoot to force the network to send out another press release on Thursday to clarify the situation as part of the show and avoid potential confusion that might impact the WWE stock price in the market, with the stock either in a coincidence or related to the story temporarily dropping 4% a day after the McMahon-Trump announcement on Tuesday before stabilizing back to its previous level, with the drop which started on Monday before any hint of the angle aired on television later in the night likely more related to routine market movements than anything coming out of the product on screen, with Raw after the strong opening audience seeing the effects of the commercial-free concept over the next hour, with the broadcast picking up by the minute to over 6.3 million viewers for a special six-man SmackDown tag match, adding more star power to the broadcast with the top names in the brand and Jericho, Edge, Mysterio and Hardy working the Raw shows in back-to-back weeks, and after Sean arriving to the building minutes earlier with his limousine breaking down on the way playing off the angle with Trump taking the new limo, Vince McMahon arrived to the building to find Trump also taking over his office in a comedic segment setting up the hyped and ring confrontation for later tonight. With viewers' retention expected to be significantly higher than usual due to the show going over 2 hours uninterrupted, along with potentially a more casual audience tuning in specifically on the back of the hype for the night. In another attempt to hook viewers from changing the channel, Raw had an on-screen timer counting down the minutes for the Orton vs Triple H title match about to take place near the top of the hour, with Raw's first hour after the expected constant growth throughout in a usual pattern for Raw on a regular show, but with the difference on the night being strong gains from the already massive audience tuning in from the first minute, closing the 9:45 p.m. quarter with over 6.5 million viewers to average nearly 6.3 million for the full 60 minutes, and while can't fully be compared to a regular broadcast due to the unique circumstances, the 6.3 million viewers total was the most watched 9 to 10 p.m. hour on Raw since April 22, 2002, coming 24 hours after the Backlash pay-per-view that featured Hulk Hogan winning the WWF title for the final time, along with the follow-up angles for the Austin vs. Flair and Taker vs. Hunter feuds, with Raw after a video package recapping the feud over the past several months seeing the top match of the night placed in the crossover segment, with Hunter and Orton making their entrances at 9:52 p.m. to kick off the match 2 minutes from the top of the hour. Randy Orton vs Triple H in a last man standing match for the title after a week of hype promoted as the first main event of the Trump era of Raw, saw Hunter and Orton going over 20 minutes of TV time in their third last man standing match overall following pay-per-view matches at No Mercy 2007 and One Night Stand 2008. Brawling all over the building, including near the announcers table area, which saw all four announcers from Raw and SmackDown promoting KFC as the main sponsor of the night to offset some of the commercial time, with the match after the steady growth throughout the first hour leading to both the biggest audience and the biggest viewership spike of the night, jumping 800,000 viewers into the 7 million viewers range only seen on a few rare special occasions since the WWF name change in May 2002. Between the pre-match video package to the entrances and post-match going over 3 quarters between 9:48 to 10:20 p.m. to peak the night at the top of the hour quarter with over 7.35 million viewers for the bulk of the match over the full 15-minute period, ending up in a draw after a pedigree on the entrance ramp to set up another Orton vs Hunter pay-per-view rematch on Sunday. Trump was back out at 10:23 p.m. for his first segment on WWE television since setting the all-time worldwide pay-per-view record for the Battle of the Billionaires at WrestleMania 23, with Trump's reveal as the new owner of Raw last Monday reportedly known only to a few people behind the scenes to avoid any chance of it being reported, including Ric Flair being backstage in Charlotte to swerve the backstage crew with the idea of it being Flair before watching the Trump reveal on television, with Trump saying that in his first show as owner as opposed to McMahon he took care of the people like never before by giving TV viewers at home the first ever commercial-free broadcast and a full ticket refund to the crowd in attendance, before kicking off the new direction for the Raw brand, saying that he's not gonna appoint a permanent general manager as every week there's gonna be somebody different in charge in the start of the guest host run, bringing out Vince for the hyped confrontation coming right after the Orton vs. Hunter match to close the most watched 30 minutes of Raw ever under the WWE name, with the McMahon-Trump dynamic delivering again to see it drawing the biggest audience to watch Raw since the over 7.3 million viewers watching the Battle of the Billionaires contract signing on March 12, 2007. Seeing Vince realizing that he was swerved into selling Raw, with Trump going to drive him into bankruptcy by going commercial-free and giving away the gate money on a weekly basis going forward, ending up with Vince buying Raw back at double the price before firing Trump to blow off the angle after a week, closing the segment with a Trump-McMahon brawl with the company after another huge interest jump for the Trump vs. McMahon feud, leaving the door open for the continuation of the storyline in the future in a press release right after Raw, with the overall second hour surpassing the most optimistic expectations to see the company entering territory not seen in a generation since the final stages of the Attitude Era boom period, averaging 7.3 million viewers in the most watched hour of Raw since the over 7.7 million viewers watching the 10 to 11 p.m. hour on the first ever draft show in March 2002. While the USA Network, driven by the huge Raw numbers in the final 3 weeks of June, combined averaging over 6 million total viewers, not only accomplishing its goal by winning the top cable network battle over TNT for the second quarter of 2009, but setting records with the first cable network in history to average over 3 million viewers in primetime to beat the 2.6 million for TNT, winning the quarterly battle for the 12th straight quarter since Raw's return to the network in October 2005, along with it also outdrawing several top network TV channels in massive bragging rights for both USA and Raw. Big Show vs. John Cena was placed towards the end of the final quarter, with them making their entrances at 10:54 p.m. with the company after the two commercial-free hours still going past 11 p.m. to maximize viewership, with Lawler and Cole recapping the show just as Raw turned the hour for potential viewers tuning in for the overrun, going 10 minutes into the 8-minute overrun to pick Raw back up to the Blockbuster hour average of a 4.8 rating with 7.3 million viewers, ending with show going over after Miz's interference with the company after delivering two major pay-per-view caliber Raw shows in the past 2 weeks, seeing the Dash pay-per-view build-up, which saw Vince announcing the main event of Orton vs. Hunter in the 3 stages of Hell match only in the past 20 minutes, being almost completely overshadowed with the full focus on boosting up the Raw numbers, with hopes that the massive audience watching on the night will also translate into pay-per-view buys, closing the show with the final angle to Sunday of Hunter attacking Orton in the parking lot to see the broadcast ending up surpassing all expectations with an over 7-year high to draw a 4.5 rating with over 6.8 million viewers.